of spiritual court. In a spiritual context, a spiritual court often refers to the concept of divine judgment or the heavenly realm where spiritual matters are addressed. It can also be understood as a framework for understanding how God operates in the spiritual realm, often involving prayer, petition, and the intercession of the Holy Spirit. Here's more of a breakdown. Divine judgment. The concept of a spiritual court suggests a place or process where spiritual matters are judged or resolved according to divine law. This can involve God as the ultimate judge, presiding over a heavenly court and making decisions based on his divine laws and principles. Some interpretations of the concept in Christianity emphasize that believers can access this court through prayer and petition, bringing their spiritual concerns before God. And we all, not just Christians, believe that. Us as a whole, like spiritualists, we believe that as well. All right, courts of heaven. Courts of heaven is a term used in some Christian or spiritualist circles to describe the spiritual court concept. It is not a physical place, but rather a spiritual reality where believers can engage with God in a structured way, addressing spiritual issues and seeking resolution through prayer and faith. This framework often involves understanding spiritual laws, covenants, and the role of the Holy Spirit in bringing truth and justice. Historically, spiritual courts also referred to ecclesial courts, which were courts established by religious bodies to handle matters related to religious law and practice. These courts dealt with issues such as marriage, inheritance, and moral offenses within the church. They were distinct from secular courts and had their own procedures and legal frameworks. Symbolism and spiritual significance. The court confirmation, my screen just blinked for nothing. All right. The concept of a spiritual court can also be understood symbolically, representing the believer's journey towards deeper intimacy with God. The inner court is in the Old Testament, tabernacle, tabernacle, for example, symbolizes a progression from the outer court, general assembly, to a more sacred place representing a closer relationship with God. Some interpretations of the New Testament connect with symbolism to believers' access to God through Christ, emphasizing the need for purity and dedication in worship. In essence, the spiritual meaning of spiritual court revolves around the idea of a divine realm where spiritual matters are addressed, judged, and resolved according to divine principle, often involving prayer, faith, and the Holy Spirit's guidance and a petition. And we believe in what happens above happens below. So any judgment or any type of verdict rendered in spiritual court will reflect to our real world as well. So I think that puts that very, very well together. So let's continue to learn together so we can all continue to grow together. And as I always say, remember to pray. Bye, guys.